Nice. You changed up the
A little
intro.
bit.
I love it, dude.
That was awesome. I
Yeah.
like it.
I stuck our little mission statement in there.
I love it, man.
Anyways, welcome back to another episode of the Scuttlebutt Podcast. We're here with the co-host Combat Chaps.
Hey
Andrew,
guys.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Our special guest today is Nick Richardson. How you doing, buddy?
Good, good.
The man from Washington.
Yes.
Oh,
The before we get started, I just want to thank our Patreon members and everybody that supports us. Our sponsor over at Connor Insurance Group. If you guys need some insurance, auto,
Go see
uh,
Jason.
life, homeowners, all that stuff, go see Jason Connor over at Connor Insurance Group. We appreciate your support. So what's going on, fellas?
Hey, living the dream, man.
there
Living the
we
dream.
go.
Finally get to talk to my buddy Nick after, I haven't talked to him in forever, and it's really good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you guys too.
Yeah, it's funny because when I told Chaps the other day that Nick was going to be on the show, and he's like, "What, Nick Richardson? How'd you get him? I know that guy."
The G8ter Veterans guy? How'd you get him?
I'm easy, man. Just send me a request.
Oh, hey, easy. You're not that easy.
Okay. Not quite that easy, but close. Close.
Close. Hey, would you stop spitting, man? That's gross.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, man. I chew tobacco. It's the only bad habit that I have left. Okay, I don't gamble. I don't drink anymore. I got to chew tobacco. I have to. I tried to give it up yesterday. I went 6 hours and then I went batshit crazy. I was like, I gotta have a dip. Oh my god, I'm dying. Nick, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I tried to quit whiskey. I don't drink a lot, but once in a while it's like I need it. And then coffee the same way. I quit for 3 days and my body's like, dude, no, not happening.
Yeah, your body will tell you, like,
Yeah.
please, we need this stuff back in the body. Okay, it can't function without.
Well, I mean, I don't, because of the military, a lot of us have no reaction to caffeine. Like I remember when
I don't.
those monster bomb things came out that are like big gulps of energy drinks, and I drank 2 of them, took a nap. It's like whatever, but coffee, it's like a taste thing and it's a habit, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it, so whatever, right?
Yeah. When I quit Mountain Dew, I went through withdrawals for like a month.
Oh God.
I drank so much Mountain Dew, man, I withdrawed from it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was disgusting. But before we get into Nick's life and the life and times of Nick Richardson, do you have anything to share with us today, chaps?
Me?
Got any events coming on with the VFW or?
We got we got the open mic at Heroes Den tomorrow night at 7:00, 2805
Well,
Old Fort Parkway, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We're gonna see Sal, we're gonna see Steven, we're gonna see Brian Romans of Romans Warrior Foundation, Stop 22.
we're gonna try to broadcast live also, by the way.
Yep. The
As long as we got
VFW will
good
have a
internet.
table there. TSP will be there interviewing people. March 29th is our veteran ceremony at the Fountains to celebrate the 50-year anniversary of the Vietnam War ending. All the VSOs in Murfreesboro are getting together. It should be fun. And those are the big things that are. Oh, and a Heroes Breakfast on March 10th at the Red Cross at MTS, sponsored by the Red Cross at MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. That's about it. That's all I got.
That's it. You usually have like 45 minutes worth of shit to go through.
I know, dude. Hey, listen, I'm trying to keep it real because I just made well, never mind. I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the show, but I just figured out a big announcement, and I'm gonna need both of your guys' support.
Right on, right on.
Yes. What
So-
about the
so
golf
Nick-
outing, man? You didn't talk about the golf outing.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, huge. Which Nick, we need you to sponsor a hole, dude.
Oh, geez.
I'm putting you on the spot
Yeah,
right
he
here.
He went right for the jugular.
Send,
with
was-
that one.
send me the info.
I will. It's a golf tournament. It's on April 29th. It's the VFW Tennessee Foundation tournament at Indian Hills Golf Course here in Murfreesboro. Hopefully this goes out to all my VFW posts in Tennessee. Get there, compete. We want to have fun. We're going to have the CO2 canister golf shot thing, golf swing, golf status, PGA. I think we're talking with them to get them there. It's going to be fun. We're trying to raise money for the VOD Patriots Pen scholarships for the state of Tennessee. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun. And I'll send you that info as soon as we're done, Nick.
Yeah, right on.
And before we turn it over to Nick, I just want to let you know, Nick, all the money that gets generated from this podcast and my second podcast, the Nosebleed Report, where my friends and I talk sports, all the money that is generated through Patreon and single donations. I started a nonprofit, and we send veterans and first responders to sporting events. Purchased my first set of tickets. We're sending a guy and his brother to Chicago Cubs home opener this month, actually. So it's starting to pick up, and we appreciate our guests. We appreciate your service to our country. We appreciate you coming on and telling our story. And we really appreciate all of our Patreon, our sponsorships, and anybody that donates, because all the money goes right back in, helping our, it was our little way to try to curb veteran suicide.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
And if you have any POC with the Seattle Kraken, give it over to Fleek, because I want to go to a Kraken game.
I don't know anyone at the Krakens. I know some people with the Cougars, and I used to know some Seahawks people, but not
Seahawks. Now that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Seahawks would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I stopped, honestly, not to get on that topic too much, but I stopped supporting them when they did the knee thing. And then when I was in D.C. for the event, Nate Boyer, the Green Beret that told dipshit to kneel instead of sit, he said, dude, you like this, you like the game, you and your son watch it together, just, try and look past it kind of thing. And I did for a while, but then once COVID hit and it got all weird, and I couldn't do it anymore. I mean, it's not the same game anymore. Can't even hit anyone anymore. I was a linebacker, so it's like, I don't know. It's just not the same. I mean, I'm glad we got rid of Russell Wilson. My son played at his camp after his rookie year, and glad that dude's gone. But, I mean, still, it's
He's stinking up Denver, man.
That's all right. That's their problem.
Oh, this is a combination show. This is a Nosebleed and a TSP. So the Scuttlebutt show. This is awesome. This is great.
Yeah, I love it.
Nick, it's your show, man. Who are you?
Yeah, introduce yourself to everybody.
All right. So born and raised Spokane, Washington. Grew up in a dysfunctional home. I know no vet's ever said that before. Went in the Army after high school because I wanted to get away. Like I told you guys kind of in our pre-show chat, the Navy recruiter looked like Danny DeVito on fat pills, and the Marine recruiter couldn't get laid if a girl had a free candy sign down there. So you know what I'm saying. So the Army recruiter did the best job. Air Force was downsizing at the time, and truthfully, I don't know. The Air Force didn't feel right to me. No offense to any airmen out there. A lot of them are my friends, but it wasn't my thing. So the Army said, okay, you're a varsity wrestler, football player. Why don't you try out for SF and all that? And tore my knee wrestling. So they said, okay, you know what? You're lucky we're letting you in. Why don't you pick from this list of jobs? And, a typical alpha male country boy, they had artillery, infantry, all this dumb shit that's going to get you hurt. And they had some smart jobs like interrogation, commissioning, anything like that. And they showed me a video of a howitzer and blowing shit up. And I was like, hey, dude, I got to do that. And my dad's like, don't do it. You're going to get hurt. It's a dangerous job. Why not do something smart where you get skills on the outside? And I'm like, I'll be smart later. Let's do this. And, he was right. I got dinged up a little bit, but still a good time. So that's kind of where my story begins. Met my wife over there. Was over in Germany post 9/11, both. And, once the Euro came out, Germany wasn't the good time it used to be, and then 9/11 happened. So after my tour was up, I worked for the DOD for a little bit and then came stateside and got to enjoy all the lovely stuff of being gone for almost 7 years, homelessness, college, struggles with employment, deciding whether I wanted to be in or out of the vet community, because it didn't seem that supportive. And, it's going to sound, it's kind of sports related, but it's going to sound kind of generic, I guess, to a certain degree. But my oldest and I were at a WWE, which I'm still used to calling it WWF from growing up, event at the Spokane Arena. And there was this big Navy vet. I mean, he looked like he should have been a pro wrestler himself. And I had something on, I think, from Grunt Style at the time, and it was way before I started G8ter Veterans. And he said to me, he said, you know, dude, I just want to tell you, as someone that's been out a while, it gets easier. And that's pretty much all he said. And it didn't really mean anything to me at the time, but then later, you know, as I was out longer and right before I started G8ter Veterans, when I realized what led to my homelessness and what led to a lot of stuff that my family and I have been through, it was like, okay, there's a lack of fellowship, but I don't want to be, and, you know, some people like them, but I honestly don't. I'm not a fan of Wounded Warrior, never gave him a penny at all, and I won't. But, you know, I'm not a fan of throwing money at something. I think it's got to be more organic, right? So you got to be real, like, you know, how, you know, Trump said it and other people have said it before him. And, you know, you got to treat the janitor the same as you do the CEO. And that's always been my approach to everything. I mean, I have a white collar education, but I'm still a blue collar guy at heart.
That's a very stoic look at it, man. That's stoicism at its finest right there.
Well, I mean, you got to, because, you know, you got to be relatable, but you got to be authentic. There's a lot of good nonprofits out there, and unfortunately and fortunately, I guess, a lot of them are the grassroots that do the bulk of the work, like us, whereas a lot of these bigger ones with name recognition, they turn more corporate, so they get the bulk of the donations and the grants, but they're also the ones that are paying their retired sergeant majors and their retired generals, you know, $1 million a year salary, whereas I don't have a salary. Like, literally, I sometimes cover my gas with a donation if I have to go help a vet with something, if it's between paydays for me or my wife, and that's legal and it's just. But I don't sit here and write myself a big check every month, because I can't. I mean, I'll tell you right now, honestly, even though technically I'm not supposed to by our bylaws, we got $10 in our account right now. We gave a shit ton of money away last year, and, you know, we've had a slow start to fundraising because of our car accident at the end of the year and our therapy schedule. And, you know, we're almost done with that, thank God. And then, you know, when I went in for an MRI, they found a mass down here, right here in my throat, that luckily is just what do they call it? A calcified thyroidal duct cyst. So that's going to be surgery, but so far they don't think it's cancer. So knock on wood, that's cool.
Thank God, man.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just, there's stuff in my own life where sometimes certain things have to take a back burner. And then we have friends we're trying to help, and big name people are like, hey dude, I'm going to help you with this. And then they flake out for whatever reason. It's part of the nonprofit world. And like I tell people, you know, get used to disappointment if you're going to do a nonprofit, because the victories are small, and that's what builds the crossroads on the bridge to get you to the next point. And there's more lows than highs, but the highs make up for the lack of highs, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Wow.
Like I said, we just purchased our first set of tickets, man, and it was a great feeling to buy those tickets.
Oh yeah,
send some kid to a game. That's awesome. But I've been doing it for a year and a half too, so
yeah, it's tough. But, I mean, it never gets easier. And when you think you got it figured out, like, there's all these people that write books about how to professionally run a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, on grants, I write most of them personally because I'm that much of a hands-on guy with everything I do. And I get denied more than I get approved. I mean, we just put in for a $50,000 grant that you have to be under 50,000 as a nonprofit yearly to get. And it's national, and we weren't even in the top 3. All the top 3 got 50 grand. And I was like, I literally reviewed everything I wrote. I'm like, this is badass, and didn't get it done. And
yep. Hey, same thing happened to me. I tried to get a grant, and they're like, it sounded really good. You did a really good job writing this out, but sorry, we had to give it to someone else. I'm like, okay, good to go.
Yeah.
Well,
Appreciate it.
I just wish sometimes, like, they could talk to you. And, you know, social media has kind of became antisocial to a certain degree, because I can say something that's offensive and funny at the same time. But if people don't know me, they're going to be more on the offensive side, right? Like, to give you an example, and, you know, I gotta say a disclaimer before I say it, just so that doesn't happen. But you know, I don't care if you're gay, straight, Republican, black, white, purple. I don't care, right? If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. That's cut and dry how it is in my world, right?
Yes.
None of us were in God's womb or whoever you believe in and prayed to come out any sort of way. We just came out the way we came out, period. And you know, with that being said, so recently my wife, because of the wreck, we were looking at a new car, and a friend talked us into looking at Kias, right?
Nice.
So I don't like Kia as a military guy because of what the acronym stands for. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So we went and got a Kia Soul, right? And it was kind of fun
Nice.
to drive. I felt like I was on Mario Kart watching out for banana peels and turtle shells. And my insurance agent calls me and he's like, can you still return that? And I'm like, yeah, you know something about that? And he goes, yeah, they're easy to steal. And I'm not going to say how on a show, but you can go on YouTube and it's something you charge your cell phone with. You're able to steal a Kia. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. So we return it, right? And then the sales lady says, well, what's something else you don't like about the car other than that? And I go, well, it's a pretty big deal if I'm making payments on something I don't even own anymore, right? And she goes, well, what else don't you like? And I said, the horn. And she goes, what do you mean? So I'm going to tell you, go honk a 2023 Kia Soul horn and you'll see what I mean. It sounds like, and this is how I described it, honest to God, and it's probably inappropriate, but it sounds like a gay clown having an orgasm. I mean, that's the first thing that popped in my head when I heard it. Right?
Oh man, we're gonna probably.
Yeah, you might have to edit that, but
yeah, but that's funny.
Good, yeah,
I mean, it's the weirdest.
It's a descriptor. It's a pretty good description.
Yeah, it's not making fun of clowns, gays, or horns, right? Or Kia, but it's just they'll probably never sponsor me now. Sorry, Kia, but I'm good with that. But anyway, yeah, it's just the weirdest sounding horn I heard in my life. So when you hit it, it's just like you can't help but laugh. But at the same time, you got to keep walking because you don't want people to know this big army guy is driving a car that's got this, you know.
Yeah.
This child's car.
Something like that. Yeah, Mario Kart.
One other thing I want to tell you is I came up with this great idea because I love to cook. So I'm going to write a cook.
Oh, good idea. Yes, good.
I'm in the middle of writing a cookbook. And what my plan is, I'm going to take the cookbook and then I'm going to take bits and pieces from my guests, like motivational couple sentences, and stick that in. Like one page will be a recipe, another page will be a motivational quote from my guest. So you keep talking because I've already got like 10 of them written down.
Oh,
Nick, what's your favorite food, dude?
Oh God, that's tough.
Mac and cheese? You look like a mac and cheese kind of guy.
No, I'm a steak and potatoes guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, like I recently did this actually because I was drinking and cooking at the same time and couldn't think of anything better to throw together. So when you take jalapenos and cut them in half and kind of cut out the middle and put cream cheese on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, that's good by itself, right? And then I threw some fat, you know, like country style bacon on there. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool, right? Like Amelia Presley even likes these. She's been to my house, right? Good friend of mine. So then I'm like, you know what? I wonder if you throw pineapples on there, if you can get some sweet heat going. So I did. And that's the way to make them, man.
Holy, that sounds awesome.
And if you use honey, put honey on there too, but use the golden clover honey because it's got a better taste. So if you use the honey, the cream cheese, the bacon, and a little bit of pineapple on it, like fresh pineapple, you get that sweet heat and it's just awesome.
So can I use that for the cookbook?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I wrote all that stuff down.
Yeah, so I mean, I did that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I play around on the barbecue sometimes, but I'm not a expert by any means. Like we almost bought a Blackstone with our taxes, and my simple ass couldn't wrap my head around it because it's like, why do I want to pay $200+ for an outdoor skillet? Because that's all they
awesome.
are. Well, that's what everyone says, but I couldn't do it.
Don't you have one, Philippe? You have one of those, right?
I love it. I cooked on it today. I cook it almost every single day.
He does. Cooking with Squidly.
Cooking with Squidly, yes.
I know.
We bought a $177 four burner propane grill from Walmart just because it was cheap and easy and it works fine. So
hey, get some food on the plate, right?
There we go. Yeah. I'm cheap and easy right now.
Cheap and easy.
Charcoal's better. I'm just telling you. If I had to pick, I'd do charcoal, but
Over wood?
over anything, yeah, because it's that slow heat and it just cooks it better and doesn't overdo it. And
Yeah. I got one of those too. It's awesome.
yeah, I eat my steaks like Hannibal Lecter, pretty close to it. That's where all the protein comes from. I don't like them crucified or charbroiled or any of that.
Yeah, we had Amelia Presley on a couple weeks ago, and she was awesome.
She is.
She was great.
She was our first Coast Guard veteran.
Yeah.
There's not many of them out there.
No, they're not. Those puddle pirates they're hidden. They hide. After they get out, they go away.
She's my favorite puddle pirate. I mean, I like her quite a bit. She's cool. We've worked together quite a bit, and her I don't know if they're engaged or not, but baby's daddy, for lack of knowledge on that situation, even though I talk to her a lot, Jordan, he's a good dude. And their baby was actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I will anyway. But
okay.
Their baby was made on the way up to one of my events because his name's based off of Yellowstone. They passed through Yellowstone on the way up here. So
really,
I'm going to put 2 and 2 together and assume that's, yeah, but that's why your son's name's Stone.
God, good, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, both of you and Amanda, need to come down here to Tennessee.
Amelia.
Both of you.
Yeah.
She's got to. I mean, have you you can't download. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Presley. Yes. You can't download Spotify, but I did. I downloaded all of her stuff, and she has got some great stuff out there.
She does. That's one thing with what G8ter Veterans does. It's been pretty cool where we've been different than a lot of groups. Is we're one of the first ones to use music at all of our events, and the reasons we do is because, like, when you come home, I call it Vet Island, right? You're stuck on this island. Nobody gets me. Woe is me, right? And there's times like that where you still have that. But you got to build that bridge back to the community, right? Because you're gone for however long you serve. Well, one of the ways I figured out is I could put up the best veteran speaker and maybe you'll make money, but no one's going to stick around and they might just have a limited reaction to your event. But if you put music, people stick around and they talk, and that song that they just covered might have reminded them of something or somebody, or they might be standing there and find out that their aunt went to high school with your uncle or your brother or whoever. And so I think it kind of adds a little extra magic to the event. And, I never charge people extra to meet my artists. Like, I honestly, and I've said this to some big name artists, I'm not going to say who on here publicly, but I've told them paying for meet and greets are bullshit in my opinion, right? Because if you remember your roots, right, then how hard is it, whether you're afraid of COVID or not, to sit there and shake a few hands, take a few pictures, and make a few memories, right?
Yeah. Hey, that's a really good point.
So, like, when I do VIPs at my events, right, all VIP is early entrance because I print very limited merchandise that's tailored to that event. And then it means you get an earlier meet and greet with the artist. So you might get to have a drink with them instead of waiting until after the show when 10 other people want to. But that's all it is. And it's not like it's $1,000 extra charge between the 2 ticket levels. Because I don't do a lot of black ties because honestly, I hate wearing suits. I mean, I hate them. So
have you talked to Brian Romans yet of Romans Warrior Foundation to get
I don't know if we've talked to. I don't think we're even. I don't know if we're even friends.
We need to introduce you to Brian. He was down in Muscle Shoals, I think today, kayaking and fishing, but he runs the Stop 22 guys like Sal Gonzalez and Stephen Cochran and Daniel Broderick and Micah Taylor.
I know Stephen.
You know Steven. Okay. Well, he's one of our VFW members. He's a great guy, and he'll be emceeing tomorrow night.
I know Malachi, Steven.
Malachias. Yep. He just joined Stop 22.
Trying to think who else down
there.
I'm just curious, like
Tyler J. Yeah, Tyler J, of course.
I don't know if I know Tyler.
He wrote the Circus, the EAS song in 2007.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I'm friends with him on Facebook
you gotta look up the Circus, man. It's amazing.
Dude, the Circus is a great song. Sal Gonzalez, dude, that guy was on America's Got Talent, right?
America's Got Talent, yeah.
He made it like all the way to the end, and he didn't win, but dude, he has got a powerful voice. Powerful.
Yeah, it's just tough right now because I feel like, kind of the same thing with veteran nonprofits and music. They kind of go hand in hand with where it's how much someone likes you and how fancy your website is or who you've opened for. They kind of go hand in hand, like their talents judged on superficial basis versus, what it should be. Like, I'll tell you, I've met musicians that some big name people. I think they're good people maybe with what they do outside of music, but in person, they're dickheads. I mean, you got to be personable. And I get some of these musicians are kind of the recluse types. Don't like the spotlight. I get it. But I mean, if you're not going to interact with your crowd, man, I mean, shake some hands, I don't know. Like we got down your way, Dylan Carmichael, who's related to John Michael Montgomery and why do I always forget his name? Eddie Montgomery from Montgomery Gentry.
Oh God, yeah.
He's their nephew. I believe his mom's their sister or something. But I met him up at Farm Jam and we hung out backstage and stuff. He gave me his number. Super cool dude. He's actually playing up here in April, so I'm going to go talk to him a little bit. And then Scooter Brown, I met up at a Coeur d'Alene casino in Idaho several years ago, and he's pretty cool. And there's just a lot of good veteran talent that unfortunately doesn't get signed to big labels because they're not, quote, the corporate mold, or they don't kiss ass, or they don't want some manager controlling every element of their life. And I think to a certain degree that happens with nonprofits too. Like you might say, hey, if I bring on this power player to my nonprofit board, they're going to push me over the hump, right? And they might, but at the same time, they might kick you off the shit you built. They might not work out for you. There might be personality conflicts. And that's probably, in my opinion, one of the toughest things about doing this.
No, you're right, man. I mean, case in point, I'm not going to give any names right now because I'm still friends with some of them. But yeah, there's a nonprofit out there that they were grassroots and they were awesome and it was fun. And now they've become real corporate with corporate sponsors and this and this and this. And it's lost some of its luster, I guess you could say that.
Magic, yeah.
Well, I mean, like someone asked me before, what are some of your dream sponsors, right? Like I would be cool with on the automobile side, like a Dodge or a Chevy. I've had both the trucks. I like them both, right? Not a Ford guy, no offense to anyone that is. But like I'd like to be sponsored by like Duke Cannon Soap. Like they got this new one up here. Fresh cut pine, dude, in Northwest.
Yes.
Like I can huff that bar like it's a junkie, huffing glue kind of thing. I mean, I love the smell of it, dude. It's like, it's awesome. And then I like Red Vine's licorice. So be sponsored by them or some of these veteran whiskey companies. There's some pretty cool veteran whiskey companies out there, like Norm Hooten, who is one of the dudes from Black Hawk Down, one of the Ops guy, Hooten Young. Their stuff, I haven't had it yet. It looks good. Horse Soldier, America Bourbon, even some guys I served with that run Whitmire Distillery down in, I think it's Houston, but they're in Texas. I mean, there's a lot of them, and I think something like that would be cool. I don't necessarily want big. I just want like, something cool. I mean, something that you're excited about,
Nick, are you a vodka guy at all?
I don't drink vodka, and the main reason, honestly, is because dumb shit happens. Like last time I drank vodka was when Dan Henderson knocked out Michael Bisping in the UFC.
Oh yeah,
and I knocked out a guy from the same country as Bisping, and then I got drunk and walked across 4 lanes of traffic and fell asleep outside the restaurant. And my wife, who's 5'1", had to drag my big ass into the car. So yeah, it was okay. It was almost a spend a night in the jail kind of night. So me and vodka are not friends.
Jack Daniels does that. Like when I was drinking, Jack Daniels, I would do that. I punched through a steel plated window. I'm 2 DUIs under my belt. I'm not proud, but it happened. Sorry. I pulled the last one. I pulled a Tommy Boy. Actually, pulled over into the middle of the road and got out and were like, "Hey, take me away, please." I mean, I blew a .2. I mean, I was gone, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Daniels is not my friend.
No, I don't know. I like good sipping whiskey. Like I bought a bottle of Horse Soldiers bourbon that I haven't tasted
Oh, I heard
or
about
had
that.
yet.
Yeah.
Those are the dudes from 12 Strong, the original ODA that went over to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I haven't opened
Yeah,
it yet.
yeah.
I'm done with this medical deal to kind of celebrate. But it's not bad. I mean, it's the most expensive bottle I've ever personally bought at $52 a bottle on base. But I mean,
At the PX?
Yeah. But hey, got to save that tax dollar, you know.
Hey, I've got my Star card, and I go there. I'll buy like a bottle, and I'll raffle it off at like one of my VFW meetings or something. I love going to the PX. I love getting on base, going to the PX. By the way, does anyone need anything from the Paris Island PX? Because I will be there on Thursday. Anyone need anything? Chevrons, medals, right in the rain book? No? Good? Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. We've been fortunate, you know, with G8ter Veterans. We've got to work with some cool people. Like I call him my guardian angel. When you see me on social media say that, it's talking about Gordon Ewell Jr., who he was embedded in Ramadi with a lot of the SEALs, but he's an Army combat engineer out of Utah originally, and he lives in Montana now. Good buddy, got blown up a bunch of times, real messed up. Like we did one event with him one time, one of the first ones we did, where he had a Purple Heart prosthetic eye, and we were charging people $5 to shoot his eye.
Were you in Ramadi?
No, I was Kosovo, man. I was even before that. I never did Iraq or Afghanistan. I'm not going to lie.
Was that SEAL, when he was there, was that 2006?
Gordon, I think so. He was there multiple times. Like he.
So was I. I was there in 2006. Yeah. And I don't remember him, but I know SEAL Team 3 was there when I was there.
Yeah, he was out of Utah. I think he was in the Gr8ter Reserves, but he was an E8 and he was a combat engineer, and he kind of rewrote the playbook for route clearance and a lot of that stuff. But super cool dude, and he's funnier than heck. And one of the last times we worked together at an event, he was missing his prosthetic eye because I guess he got drunk and teed it off at a veteran golf tournament somewhere. But
nice.
But we bought him, you know, those giant fake eyeballs the dollar store sells around Halloween. Yeah. So he put one of those in his eye, and we're at this bar, and they have these trash can lid nachos, and we're sitting there drinking, and of course it looks like a parrot cage at the bottom of the floor because we're spilling everything. And dude's got this eye in there, and the waitress almost dropped our drinks. It scared her so bad. It was awesome. And so we just do a lot of interesting stuff like that at our events because it's
we gotta do something with you, man. We gotta get something on the books.
Yeah. How do you come out to Tennessee and do something for TSP, man? I
just need my flight and hotel covered and be home.
Hey, you could stay at my house. I got extra bedrooms that we don't even use.
I sleep on the couch pretty good too. I do that here because of the puppies. So I mean, it's
what kind of dogs you got?
Shepherds.
Oh, I got one.
I got Australian Shepherds?
No, Germans.
Oh, a German Shepherd. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just like Fleece.
What kind of German Shepherd do you have?
I call them the American straightbacks, so they don't have that, you know, broke hip, skipped leg day look.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. So they're fun, but they get used to routines worse than we did in the military. So when it's time to feed them, if you had a rough night or you can't sleep, you're getting up anyway to feed them, or they're going to make some damn noise.
100%, man.
Oh, yeah. My Australian Shepherd, he tells me when to fucking eat.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, my dog's getting mean, man. Like my bug
Bricks?
guy came over. My bug guy came by yesterday, and freaking Bricks fucking bite him, man.
Dude, he doesn't even like me, and I've known him for like 3 years now. He hates me.
Chill out, bro.
No, seriously. I walk in, and he's seen me before, and he starts barking his head off, and I'm like, dude, I just saw you last week. Why are you barking at me?
People out of my house. But
I'm not a dangerous person anymore.
I want people to come in the house.
Yeah, ours do that too. My wife hates it, but I like it. I'm like, you know, they do what they're supposed to. They're cool dogs.
Exactly. He's got a job. We had a break in a couple years ago, and we had a lab at the time. And the lab slept through the whole thing, and this lady was in my bedroom, took my cell phone off my pillow.
What?
I didn't even know it. Yeah. So my wife's like, "We're getting a dog that's gonna alert us." I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." Found this
When
guy.
the hell did this happen?
This is when we lived in that townhouse in Murfreesboro.
Oh, okay.
So
Jesus.
I found this breeder in Ashland City, Tennessee, and this guy breeds a specific German Shepherd, and he trains them too. He was the lead animal behavioralist at Auburn University. He stopped doing that, and he breeds and trains East German Shepherds. My dog was conceived in Germany, but he went over there and handpicked a mother. He was conceived in Germany, but was born here.
What's the name? Ashland, Tennessee. What's the name of that?
Ashland City. The name of the kennel is Cedar Valley.
Hillview Kennels in Tennessee is supposed to be good too. I've talked to them before.
Where?
There's somewhere in Tennessee. It's called Hillview or Hillsview. I can't remember, but they're in Tennessee. I think they're on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure, but
okay.
Yeah.
Because our next dog is a shepherd. Like I love shepherds.
Well, I can hook you up. I mean, you want one?
Oh, could you? Okay, no, that's cool.
You just got to come get it. I'll give you one,
dude. I will,
that's
dude.
Better. That's better because these dogs are expensive.
Dude, I haven't been out to that West Coast in forever. My dad, man, wow.
You can buy marijuana out there.
Yeah,
if I smoked marijuana, yes, I probably would buy some. But I did that once in college, and it just made me crazy. And I'm sorry, I'm not a weed guy.
I would like to be, but my wife's like, no, dude, not happening. So I'm like, you know what?
I mean, but every
marriage is expensive in a joint property state.
Does everybody out there have like medicinal marijuana cards?
You don't need them. You just go to the store like you're going to Walmart. And
buy really? That's it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Tennessee. Take some notes.
Idaho, you can't even do it, and that's next door. So they'll come here and buy weed and then get popped over there by their own cops and face charges.
Nick, that bill for weed dispersal here in Tennessee, it didn't pass. 3-6. 3 votes to 6. Didn't pass at all.
So years ago, I don't know how long ago it was, but Phil Rowe, Dr. Phil Rowe, was the congressional chair of the Veteran Affairs Committee out of Tennessee. And I met him at a political event up here, and I asked him about that when there was a big push to legalize it through the VA and all that. And I go, so are you ever going to push for it? And he goes, no. And I go, why? And he goes, well, we need more clinical research. And I looked at him, and what I wanted to say is you senile old fuck, but I didn't because I was at a political event. And I said to him, well, why? I said, you're a doctor. You've been an MD longer than I've been alive because I think I was like 38 at the time or something. And I said to him, it's the oldest known natural remedy known to man pretty much as far as I know. And I said, what research do you mean? Or are you really saying you need someone like Philip Morris to grow it, package it, and the government to make money? Which one are you saying? And he goes, I got to go. And I said, of course you do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised. And that's a guy from Tennessee. So I'm not surprised. And
dude, we can't even have gambling. We can't even have raffles here. I mean, raffling, bingo. Yeah. Bingo is gambling in Tennessee. And pull tabs. I bet you have pull tabs at your VFW.
We do.
See, we can't even have that. That's gambling. Yeah. Can't have it.
So we're only allowed in Washington unless it changes. But currently, as far as I know, you're only allowed to do 2 50-50 raffles a year because it's considered gambling.
Oh.
So you got to make sure when you do those, right? Because whoever wins gets half the pot. So you got to make sure whenever you do those, it's a big enough event to where it's profitable for the nonprofit.
Right.
Smart.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you're only allowed to do 2 of those. And there's different rules like gun raffles, are kind of a pain to do up here, especially now. You're like, you can have an AR, but you can't have a magazine, go get a 10 round, man.
Unbelievable.
But
hey, but you guys, never mind. Oof. No, you guys got great craft beer. You guys got great restaurants in Seattle. Pike's Place Market is like my favorite place to go.
Is that the salmon place, the fish?
That is where
the fish. Yeah, I think if you order something and they drop it, it's free. If I remember right.
Yes, and guess what? They throw a damn pillow at you. Okay, they throw the fish behind the thing, and then they throw a pillowed fish at your face.
Yep.
I'm sorry I let the cat out of the bag, but it's hilarious. It's awesome.
Try to scare the shit out of you.
It's
They
cool.
do. Dude. I dropped like, oh man, I dropped to the ground so fast. Ooh, man. Whew.
Yeah, but Seattle's so full of junkies and needles because they did that, safe injection site crap.
Yep.
Even the penguins at the zoo are junkies now.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
I'm kidding, but it's bad over there. Like we had to watch out for needles.
Oh man, dude, Nick, you're cracking me up, dude. You're hilarious.
But yeah, it used to be a lot different over there, but now it's just, yeah.
You know, my brother went to UW. I loved going out there. I've been out like 5 times. I have not been since he passed away.
Washington, where they took over like a whole town and like
the chop zone.
Yeah.
Trump's like, cool, I'm going to send in some Rangers and see how much you like that shit. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to disband. No, we're not playing around anymore. Yeah, it was dumb. I don't know how that's not domestic terrorism, but, I have a master's in criminal justice. What the hell do I know, right?
No.
Right.
You have a master's?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yep. Master's, speak 2 languages, and I'm still an idiot. So,
what languages do you speak?
German, fluent. Read it, write it.
Wunderbar. I'm learning very slowly how to speak German. I'm doing that Duolingo, and I know how to say mother, father, brother, and sister.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's like I would always speak it with an American accent, so they knew I was American, and then they would talk shit, not knowing I understood it. So it's pretty cool. Sometimes you get free drinks out of the deal.
Say something. Say something for the folks at home.
Oh God, what do you want me to say?
I don't know. Some first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay, I'll tell you a story, then I'll say something.
All right.
So I worked for, and don't hold this against me, but I worked for TSA for a little bit with Homeland Security, like almost 7 years. One of the worst jobs I ever had. Good people, but leadership's, yeah. Anyway, so one of the guys there, he's from West Virginia, and he comes up to me and he goes, so how do I say bend over and I'll make you happy to like a pretty girl? So it's Boek dik und ik maak dir glücklich, which means bend over and I'll make you happy, right? So I didn't think nothing of it, right? So I told him how to say this, no big deal, right? Well, I was the only one that spoke German and still there as far as I know. So he said it, they knew it came from me, and that was one of my first visits to the manager's office. So yeah, you got to be careful who you say what to, apparently,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun time.
That's funny.
Germany was great, especially when the Deutschmark was still there before the euro came out. Because, you were a single soldier, you cash out your paycheck, get 2 to 3 to 1 for the dollar, and you just live on the economy all weekend until it's time to drag your half sober ass into work Monday. It was great.
Were you there before the wall came down?
No, I was after. My wife is actually East German, so she remembers that. And she's from Lutherstadt in the Eisleben province over there, which is where Martin Luther, the Lutheran Reformation, she grew up right across the street from the museum. So
wow, that is cool.
So in theory, if the wall wouldn't have came down, I would have never met my wife.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. But,
does she speak fluent German? Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, her parents are still over there. They used to come up every year, but they both have medical issues now. So we're kind of Skyping it with them a couple times a week. And
it's funny. My wife, she was born in Oxford, England, but she lived in Germany when my father-in-law was stationed over there, and she lived there for probably about 6 years. So, and her last name's Haber, Heber, and it comes from Habak, and she comes from the Alsace-Lorraine, German, French.
Yeah, kind of the World War I disputed ground.
Yeah, and she's not French. She just said she's not French. She's German. She's not French. Yeah, she's very sensitive about that.
Yeah, I can't see her behind that piano you got.
No, she just came in through the door. You can't see the door. I don't have this is not my piano. This is not. My house does not look this good. My house is a wreck. And so, yes, it's all fake right here. All of it. It's all fake.
I'm not judging. I'm like, it's a nice place.
Hey, I wish I had. No, actually, I don't play the piano. I took lessons, and then my teacher ran out of me. Like when I was like 6 years old. Like, I play the saxophone. I hate the piano. I mean, I love listening to it, but I can't play it worth shit.
I can't sing. I've wrote some stuff. I can't play nothing, but I work with musicians and kind of get them. So that's why I get to work with a lot of them. But yeah, I tried to play the guitar once and the string snapped and
Yeah.
Nick, have you ever listened to a band called Blackberry Smoke?
yeah. So I saw them when they first came out at a venue here for $10.
No,
One of the best concerts. Yeah, it was.
dude.
They're awesome.
I had VIP all access because I can't tell. Yeah,
I got you.
there's another nonprofit that Fleek and I and we all belong to, and they're trying to do some deal with them, Blackberry Smoke. And I'm not going to say what nonprofit, but people are not stupid. They'll probably figure it out. But I went to an all access VIP, and I saw these guys in Chattanooga, and I swear it was like Widespread Panic and Black Crows like had a baby. And I was like, holy shit, these guys are awesome. They're from Atlanta.
Yeah, Georgia boys, I think.
Yeah, and I got backstage. I met all 7 of them. There are 7 people in this band. It's crazy. And I got them all to sign my nonprofit shirt, which I'm not going to tell you what that nonprofit is. But they all signed my shirt.
This isn't the nonprofit we were both on the board of, is it?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that one's creepy.
Yeah, they're awesome. I will tell you, Scooter Brown, though, even though he's doing his War Hippies project, which him and Donnie are super fun to hang out with, good guys, love them both. Scooter Brown Band, they're awesome. They put on a good show. I think they're way undervalued, not just in the vet community, but also in the music community. I mean, they should be headlining tours. They're better than a lot of these big name Nashville bands that are going places.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not to bash them, and I heard they're nice guys. I don't know them. But I would rather hear Scooter Brown Band any day over Rascal Flats or Florida Georgia Line. You know, they're good, but they're genuine good dudes, and they're good music, and a lot of their stuff's all original. I mean, how can you beat that?
Hey, Rascal Flats had their day, okay?
Yeah.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, they're
All
gone.
right? They're gone.
Yeah, but I mean, like Florida Georgia, I like country music that's actually country, or the classic Robs, or the classic rock vibe, like CCR, Skinner kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't listen to metal as much as I used to because it gets me too amped up and
Yeah.
gives me the vodka effect, if you know what I'm saying. So I try and avoid that. And
So no Pantera or Gore.
I loved them growing up.
Seether.
Yeah, I know. I loved them. Like Walk was legit. I'm a huge Black Label Society fan. I have their skull and axe tattooed on my shoulder. Actually,
Nice.
I've always wanted to meet Zach, and he was playing in Spokane one time when he had his blood clot issue at the show before. I was actually supposed to meet him when he was up here, and obviously a hospital visit had priority. But I'd love to meet him. And then Hell Sagan, their metal band, Nick Kawanjo, who is Powerman 5000's lead guitar player. It's him and his wife's band. They're good friends of mine. They're pretty cool people.
Wow, dude, man, you know some good bands, man.
They're fun. They're fun though, but they're just a lot of the ones I talk about a lot aren't just because of their name or their numbers or whatever. It's because they're good people. Like, I won't mention someone if I think they're douchey, you know, like I think if you're a good person, you do the right thing, you deserve some recognition, and that's all it is. And
well said.
Yeah,
well
it's not
said.
dropping at all. It's just, hey, these are good people, you know.
How did you get into the music scene if you're not a musician?
Because I've always been a huge fan of music, and like going back to when I was a kid, like this is again not a PC statement, but it's true and it's in my book, I promise. But like when Rodney King happened, right? My stepdad used to beat me like that, and I didn't get a lawyer. I didn't make no fucking money or get any kind of fame off that, right? So I was like shocked you could get paid for getting your ass whooped, right? And so when he would beat me and stuff when I was a kid, I would go in my room at night and I'd put on my headphones to my, you know, $50 Walmart equivalent radio, because Walmart wasn't even up here back then. And I would listen to music, and it was kind of like I don't want to say safe place because I hate that saying, but you know, kind of my chill out, my happy place where I could forget who and what I was. And so it just kind of became a thing. And that's why I get musicians so much, because I see the healing side of music so much. in my personal life. So that's kind of just what I did when I was down in the dumps. I'd go sit around a campfire, play some tunes, and just chill out. And I've always been into it. So that's why I get the musicians so well. And we kind of vibe, even though I can't play any instrument. I mean, I can play the 9mm on the steel target a little bit, but, you know, no actual music, you know.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I just really dig it, you know.
And speaking of some shooting practice, we need to get you down here and get you to Outpost Armory to shoot the bear at 50. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I shot the Ma Deuce in the Army a lot, but
I was a machine gunner. Ma Deuce was my baby, which has
I
got
love it.
14 parts to the bolt, which is crazy.
I'll tell you what I recently picked up that I love, and I'm not a SIG fanboy at all. I was a loyal Glock guy most of my life, is the SIG 365X macro. That thing is legit.
Okay.
I love it. I carry it all the time. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in the market for a new gun,
What caliber
and
is that?
Yeah, I like it. It's a 9,
9.
but it's cool because it's like, I'll screw it up, but it's like the 365 XL with a little bit bigger grip than the regular 365 with a tack rail. It has the SIG night sights, which I know there's a name for them, but I'll screw it up. And it holds 17 rounds. So it's a lot of gun in a little package. So you don't print as much when you're carrying, and it's pretty nice, but it sucks here in Washington because of the 10-round rule. Idaho doesn't have any of the mags everywhere I go close by. And there's only one online retailer that'll sell them, and they come out to $65 a mag.
damn.
Because SIG never did what Glock did, where they're like, hey, you got Joe Blow Company, you want to make my shit, cool, whatever. SIG's like, nah, we're the only ones that make our stuff. So
They're out of Exeter, New Hampshire, too, by the way.
they're what?
SIG, the headquarters is Exeter, New Hampshire, where I grew up for 16 years. Katrina and I were just there. We just passed by the headquarters like a month ago when we were up in New Hampshire. It's crazy.
They're nice. I mean, I like Glocks, but the problem with Glocks, and I think as a company, they would be smarter if they put some decent sights and a little bit better trigger. I mean, I can hit good with them, but when you come out of your draw, you know, you got to kind of cant your wrist and kind of have a few shots first to get used to it again.
Yeah.
Whereas the SIGs and the M&Ps and a lot of those, the sights are right where your eye goes. So I think they're missing the market and could make more money, you know, and then that's why companies like Shadow Systems and Zev, which is over towards Seattle, started making their version of the Glock and making good money doing it, is because it's like, yeah, you can accessorize the hell out of them, but you know, anymore, especially with this economy, if you're paying XYZ for a gun, you don't really want to have to do anything to it other than buy a holster and a couple extra mags, you know.
Right.
But SIG, I don't know. I'm impressed with where they're going. So
well, I took it down. I'm gonna look for it when I go up to Outpost next time I'm up there.
yeah, they're legit. I like it.
Nick, I got to give you guys out there some props because I'm a huge oyster lover, and the West Coast oysters are legit.
You think they're the best, huh?
They're salty and they're good on the taste. Sorry, I'm starting to get really hungry because Katrina got home and I got to go make dinner, and she's like rubbing her tummy like while I'm on this podcast, and she's really getting really hungry, and I'm like, honey, 10 more minutes. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's Go
before Combat Chaps runs away, why don't you explain what G8ter Veterans is and what you guys do?
I'm not running away. Not until he explains that, man. Come on now.
okay. So originally, you know, based on my own experiences and what the vet community was lacking is what I founded it on. So we still do, but we're miles away, want to build a vet center that we'll call the EVAC Center, that stands for Every Veterans Assistance Center.
Nice.
Because to us as a vet, EVAC means getting out of a bad into a good, so it's marketable. Ultimately, we want to have, you know, a cafe bistro, primarily veteran-owned vet products, lounge rec area for, you know, service dog training, auditorium for concerts, special events, whatever, holiday meals, like an internet center, business center, meeting rooms, and then a gym. So that's kind of, we want to be a one-stop shop, like a VFW on steroids, simply put, But as you can imagine right now, real estate is not cheap anywhere, especially here right now. And that's what we ultimately want to do. So in the meantime, it's hard to save money with all the need out there. So we're literally rolling from green to black every event because we're putting on events. We're a lot of stuff we don't even ticket for like we probably should. Everyone up here that you advertise with, whether it be a news station, a newspaper, whatever, they all want to nickel and dime you to death for advertising that's minimally effective. And, not to be crude or anything or disrespect my wife or women, but I've got more mileage out of sending, a veteran female or quote influencer that's not a douche a free t-shirt and letting them take a picture on Instagram than I have paying some of these companies that are marketing companies to advertise an event.
By the way, I was one of those douches that he sent a t-shirt to.
You're not one of the douches, man. No.
No, just kidding. I was like, holy shit, was he talking about me?
No, I'm talking about some of those names I mentioned in the pre-show.
Oh, I know. Yep, I know exactly who you're talking about. But okay, we will not say that name. No, yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Well, I'm not afraid of this individual at all, physically or otherwise, right? But I don't want to deal with him. I don't like that prima donna bullshit, right?
Dude, her yoga is weird, okay?
Yoga's weird.
Uh-huh. I did it. I had to do one of her yogas. So I was like, this is not relaxing at all.
The combat yoga girl?
I can't say. I neither confirm nor deny that allegation.
Yeah, I don't know. Yoga's not my thing. Like, I'm not that flexible anymore, and to each their own. But no, I'm not talking about that individual.
No, you're not? Okay, good to go.
Yeah. No, the other male individual from the
okay. Got it.
But yeah, we've got, through what we've done and just, right place at the right time, we've got to meet some cool people. And I'm kind of careful about using names, not because of name dropping or I just don't want to damage anyone else's brand. But
right.
There's a retired SEAL, 30 plus year SEAL that works with Jocko. His name's Jason. I'll let you go on Jocko's site and look up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but this guy, super cool dude. Like, I watched Jocko's podcast with him, and I'm more honestly on the SEAL side. I like Sean Ryan's show better personally. Nothing against Jocko, but Sean Ryan's show, the format and everything, just kind of
it's great.
It's a different vibe, and I want to meet him someday. I've never met Sean, but anyway. So Jason he just finished part 3, so they're like 2 hours each of these episodes. And I was still working at TSA at the time, the first time I met him. And I guess they lived north of me and I didn't even know, right? And I see his ID. I'm checking his ID out there. And I'm like, holy shit, you're him. And he goes, him who? And and he goes, oh, you know who I am? I go, yeah, dude, I just watched the 3rd episode that you're on. You're awesome. I love what you're about. I love that you're not one of the SEALs. It's like, hey, they heard SEALs were in the country and Al-Qaeda all committed suicide. Like, you're legit. Like, he talked about a missed shot, during the Somalia Black Hawk downtime and how it messed up his mind, and just a real humble dude that's done a lot of shit that he has every right to be, an egomaniac on, and he's not. He's just chill. And then him and his wife, their social media is so cool because she's into poetry and nature, and he's like this humble farmer dude that was a badass warrior and just a salt of the earth kind of dude. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not someone that meets famous people and gets the fangirl thing going on. I'm more of a fan of vets and real people. That's kind of more my, wow, this is cool kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's probably one of my favorite people, and not because he's like, we're good friends. Don't get me wrong. He's not like my best friend. We don't go out and drink or anything together, but we talk quite a bit. But I just think for someone to do so much good after they've seen so much bad is kind of inspiring to me. If that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Gordon, my guardian angel, and some of the Vietnam vets I've worked with, and a good buddy of mine's a retired Army 1-star, and, being an E4 Mafia member when I was in, and then, and then getting out, and having the respect of a general, and then realizing how cool he is, and we all served, and we're not that much different despite rank, and seeing how the real life is when you get out. It's pretty enlightening, but it's surreal and cool at the same time.
I agree. because speaking of that, I actually get to meet my old battalion commander on Friday at the Paris Island graduation. The Commandant of the Marine Corps,
Oh, wow.
General David Berger, who was my battalion commander from '02 to '04, who is now in charge of the entire Marine Corps, will be there. And he's best friends with the chaplain that's retiring after 25 years of naval service. So I get to meet him, and that's pretty cool because he's got his wings and he's got his dive bubble. And I'm like, and he's the one that's basically tearing down the entire Marine Corps and getting rid of tanks and getting rid of scout snipers and getting rid of my battalion. And I'm like, why? But he's got a reason, the Force Design 2030. And yeah, the Marine Corps is going back to the more littoral service. And I guess that makes sense if we're fighting China, but what happens if we're fighting somebody else? We got to have tanks. We got to have scout snipers. We got to have more infantry.
Well,
But
from
that's
what I
just
heard,
me.
Berger's legit. I mean, Mattis is from here, and I know Mattis is a big name in the vet community.
Yes, Mattis is the father of all us Marines, except now he's married, and he got married to a
Well,
girl he met in a bar, which is awesome. That is such a Marine thing to do.
Well, here's my thing though. I'm going to be one of the few vets. I've had chances to meet him, and I haven't met him for a couple reasons. I'm not a big Mattis guy, honestly. I
used to be
Kelly better. Here's the thing about Mattis, right? I respect honesty and integrity above anything, right? And Mattis, when COVID first hit, this big tough Marine was the first one to do a commercial in our state wearing a mask, but he wore a bandana. So that kind of is like your first tip off to kind of yeah. And then other things he's done, like, okay, you look at someone's psychological profile, right? When he's this badass war fighter, every alpha male wants to reproduce, right? Like that's like an alpha male thing. He never did. And he was super close to his mom. So if you look at a lot of dudes that have mommy issues, I worked in a prison. That's all I'm going to say on that. You can kind of fill in the blanks on your own, whether they're, chomos, serial killers, or just off in general. So the fact that he's this alpha male, or he's perceived as one, whereas General Kelly, like he went through everything, lost a son. He's a humble dude. I met him in DC. Good guy. Didn't unfortunately get a chance because he was busy to take a picture with him. But he's cool. Berger's legit, I think.
Berger is legit, yeah.
Soon to be retired Sergeant Major of the Army, Grinston, was actually my first.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know him, but the JROTC that we adopted, they have to memorize who the Sergeant Major of the Army is. And that's the only reason why I know that name, because I went to that class when they were screaming out his name. And is he cool? I mean, you haven't met him.
He's professional. He's legit. Like, he's the one that pinned the good conduct medal on me when I was in Kosovo.
No way.
Yeah, and so we got to play the next day officers in flak vest football. I don't know if you did that in the Marine Corps where you get to wear a flak vest.
Didn't.
It's tackle football, but with a flak vest on.
No, we didn't. We didn't have time to do that because we were kicking down doors and taking names. Sorry.
Yeah, Kosovo was kind of like mixed kind of deployment, but yeah. So he's like, yeah, you get to play against officers tomorrow, and
dude, that's like
it's
like the longest yard. It's like the enlisted against the officers, the prison guards against the prisoners. That's pretty awesome.
So he was cool. And then like my old platoon leader, I still talk to, and one of my old section chiefs and my gunner was my best man. We're still in contact. And
that's cool, man.
A lot of the old units. So it's like, I don't know, a lot of the guys I talk to now because of the nonprofit, they just reach out to me and we just talk, shoot the shit, whatever. And, I want to eventually get to the point where I can go down and hang out with them for a couple of days. Some drink, some don't, just be around them again. Cause it's like, I always tell people it's, the best way to explain the veteran community as a whole, at least the good side of it, is we weren't born into this family, but we chose to serve it and we're united. So it's not like a lot of us aren't egomaniacs where we're like, oh, you did more deployments than me. You got more confirmed kills. You did this. You were spec ops and I wasn't. You flew a plane. I didn't. A lot of us don't see it that way. Like we all served and it was a good part of our lives that we look back on fondly. But there was also some messed up stuff during our service, whether leadership injuries, whatever, right? And I just think it's important that we as veterans to not only inspire the next generation to serve, But we also need to identify to the civilian population what we are and what we aren't, right? Like, we don't know the answers. We have a fucked up sense of humor.
Very dark.
Very
dark.
we do. I mean, look at some of the stuff I've said tonight. I mean, I'm sure my parents' ears are burning, and my grandparents in heaven are probably like, oh my God.
But you know who's smiling is Donnie O'Malley from Vet TV. He is definitely smiling for the shit we're talking about tonight.
I see, and I don't know him, man.
You don't know? Yeah, I met. Donnie's a great guy. He is just, he's a great guy. He was a good Marine, and now he's on this journey. And he founded Vet TV, and he founded Irreverent Warriors. I mean, hats off to him. He came to my hike in 2019, which was really crazy. But he has yet to return my Facebook messages from like a year ago.
Wow.
Hey, it's okay. He's busy. He's going to Coachella. He's smoking his whatever.
Coachella.
He does. He goes to Coachella. He has like, you see him dancing on TikTok like all the time. You're like, dude, I wish I had those moves.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's funny.
Well, I was a wrestler growing up, so our coach always said wrestlers don't dance, and I never had to blame it on my lack of coordination, not dancing, But
no.
I'm not a dancer, man. But I mean, I don't know. It's just to each their own, and there's some good dudes and gals in the vet community. I just think no matter how, quote, vet famous you are, if you can't return messages to people, especially people through social media or personally met or served with, then you got bigger issues. I mean, you're kind of a douche. Yeah, I return all my own calls, messages, emails. If someone's like, hey, can you talk today? If I got something going on with the family or my medical fund right now, then obviously, I say, hey, can we do it at this time? It works better. Let's do it. And I mean, I don't know. I just think humility is kind of lost with some of these influencers.
No, agreed. Agreed. It happens. What is it, like 5 o'clock there right now?
Yeah, 5:49. Yeah.
Okay. 2 hours. 2 hours. I always forget that. I always thought it was 3 hour time difference, but it's a 2 hour.
I always Google it. I'm not going to lie to you. Even if I think I know, I Google it. I'm like, hey, what's that? Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll work.
Well, we got to get you here for our
we do.
event, and Sean Ryan lives in the area, actually. So maybe we can get him there.
I don't know. I mean, I know, so Chris, well, okay, how do I explain this? Chris Beck, who was the transgender SEAL Team 6 member, is a friend of mine. And I knew Chris Beck when Chris Beck was Kristen Beck. And obviously I know him as Chris Beck now too. And Chris Beck just did a 6-hour show on Sean Ryan.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah,
and I will tell you, Chris Beck is another one of those salt of the earth people, despite what you think about the individual. Chris, I knew as Kristen, like I said, but Chris is, oh my God. So there's a photo on my Facebook of Gordon, the one I called my guardian angel, and Chris when he was still Kristen. And again, I apologize if I'm explaining this in any kind of weird way. I'm just following what's already out there for information. And they have stupid looks on their face, and they're drinking ketchup. It looks like they're about to drink ketchup, and it was funny. And then that was where Sailor Jerry was there too. She's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But I'd say out of all female veteran musicians that I personally know, and this is again my opinion only, the two coolest that I've worked with or know are Jen Ford and Amelia Presley. Amelia Presley's like a little sister to me, so
yeah, I
she's
love
probably my favorite. Yeah, but I mean, there's some cool ones out there. Jen Ford's cool.
Jen Ford was supposed to be on the show last night.
Yeah, she was.
She ditched us.
Well, wasn't someone in her house sick or something?
I think her kids, right, yeah. Flake?
She's mentioned, I don't know if it was a kid or a boyfriend or I don't know. She said so-and-so is sick. And
hey, Nick, I got a question for you. Have you ever heard of a podcast called Zero Blog 30?
Sounds familiar, but I don't know much about it. I'm not going to lie.
Someone just asked me a question about it, and it's presented by Barstool Sports, Gr8ter Veterans to the Buddhist of Boots. Kind of sounds like us.
It does. I don't know. I'm actually, so I can say the name, but I haven't finished all the stuff yet. I will be starting my own hopefully this year, but it's going to be called Voices of Valor.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I picked that, right, is because I don't want it to just be veteran centric. I want anyone that's doing something cool. And I want to focus on veterans that nobody knows. Because, I mean, anyone can get a big name on their show and get the views and the likes and all the sponsors chasing them because they think they're something they're not, right?
Yeah.
But I want to get stories out there that people don't know. Like there's a lot of good name vets, even in the spec ops community, that didn't write a book or didn't, you know, do a famous mission that did a whole lot of shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you look up a name like Billy Waugh. I don't know if you know who Billy Waugh is. So Billy Waugh was a Green Beret. I think he got up to Sergeant Major during NAM and then contracted, and at 80 some years old was hunting bin Laden in the hills of Afghanistan for the agency.
Damn.
Oh.
So the dude's like a real life Rambo, and he was cool. And I don't know, there's just a lot of stories out there, like Tony from Wooby's Shoes. He's a Green Beret. Tim Kennedy's their spokesperson.
Oh, great shoes, by the way, man.
Yeah, but Tony is a legit cool dude. I mean, I'm guessing he kind of, I don't know his full story on the divorce because he was just getting married last time I had him up here. But there's just a lot of cool dudes in the vet community and gals doing awesome stuff that just aren't getting the support, you know. And there's also some companies that aren't what everyone thinks they are. Like, I won't say the name, but there's a coffee company that's ran by a female. I'll leave it at that.
Oh.
That's not who everyone thinks they are. And
I know. Yeah. I think I'm Facebook friends with her.
Well, so am I, but I'll just say it like this. And I don't say anything without proof, right? But I hooked her up with a NASCAR team for a sponsorship and got a text from her basically saying, don't mention it because I want people to think I'm that connected. Instead of just a simple, hey, thank you for the intro kind of thing. And I'm big on gratitude, you know, humility and gratitude and truthfulness, I think, are kind of three of the biggest things in life in general. And I don't know, man. I hate to call people out, and I try not to, but, you know, some people are just, yeah.
Interesting. I think, what are you doing there?
No, I'm just sorry. Sorry. I was answering. I got a veteran who needs a phone call. And I need to go cook dinner.
Yes.
So sorry, but Nick, I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you guys, and I appreciate it.
Do we want to wrap this up, Fleek?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for coming on with us, Nick. Hold on for a second after I hit the end record button, so I know all of our
shit gets downloaded or uploaded.
But thanks for everybody hanging out with us. Thanks for your service, Nick. Great job with everything you're doing, and
we'll get you down to Tennessee, man. And it's going to be on me, so
hopefully
you can count on it.
You know,
I'm trying to get Amelia to come here too to hang out with the veteran singer-songwriter people.
Well, let me know when you want her down, and I'll call her. She doesn't like to talk on the phone a lot, so
yeah.
But I can get her on the phone, talk to her, and see what's up. And
yeah, we'll definitely put you guys up. Chap's got spare bedrooms. I got spare bedrooms.
I do. I got two. He's got two.
If you have a piece of cheese with you, you'll get past the German Shepherd. That's
and you're going to be two of my dogs are going to be sleeping with you. Like Baron and Major are going to come cut off with you.
All right, man.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Fleek.
See you guys next week.
See you guys.